Hello and welcome to African in View. My name is Nyamgul Agaji. Today, there's so much in stock for us. We're talking economy, economics, Africa, America, and our focus is on tariffs today. But first of all, let my colleagues introduce themselves.
Hello, I am Aghogho Ayanagho, and it's nice to be back here on the show again.
And Olamide Onwuka. This is a beautiful day, and I have to say I'm really looking forward to what we have in store for you guys today. Nyamgul.
You always ask.
They want to start. Look, this has to look on this set. We have to
know is intentional.
No. We have to actually have a meeting behind cameras because every time you ask him, "What about me? Are you doing bro code on me?"
No, Nyamgul.
Yeah.
I actually like the sound of yours. It's easier to pronounce.
Yeah.
Producer, we need another female on the show.
Okay, it's not a war. Today we're talking tariff war, trade war. It's not a gender war.
But she's making it a war.
Every time.
It's not a gender war.
Why doesn't he ask me? Why is he always asking
Okay,
you?
How are you?
I'm fine.
It's very easy. Okay, without further ado, we are just going to go straight to the news and see what is the news. Some of the headlines that caught our fancy in the course of the last week. And then when we return, we'll be looking at some of them and see what they mean to us. Stay with us.
President Bola Tinubu has condemned the killing of at least 51 people in Plateau State's Bassa district, urging Governor Caleb Mutfwang to address the deep-rooted ethnic and religious tensions fueling the violence. He emphasized the need for political will, unity and federal support to end the decade-long communal conflict, while directing security agencies to investigate and bring the perpetrators to justice. The federal government has awarded InfuWest Construction Company a 14-month contract worth 525 billion naira to complete Section 2 of the 777 billion naira Abuja-Kaduna Zaria Road after revoking the initial contract from Julius Berger PLC due to cost disagreements. Minister of Works Dave Umahi, during the project's flag-off in Jere, Kaduna State, praised Governor Ubasani and announced the road will be completed with concrete reinforced pavement, solar lighting, and extended to Aminu Kano International Airport. Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State has announced that the state's airport is nearly complete and will be operational in 3 to 4 months, improving access and attracting investors. He emphasized that the airport will reduce reliance on the 7-hour insecure road trip from Abuja, marking a major step towards opening up the state and addressing security and investment challenges. FCT Commissioner of Police CP Ajawa Diwale has urged Abuja residents to obey traffic laws, avoid illegal parking, street trading and hawking to reduce congestion and enhance public safety. He emphasized that respecting traffic rule is a civic responsibility and warned against any obstruction or attacks on law enforcement officers performing their duties. The Federal High Court in Abuja has remanded former Minister of Power Saleh Maman in prison custody over alleged 33 billion naira fraud, with proceedings adjourned to May 2nd, 2025, after a key interrogation video was played in court. Justice James Omotosho ordered the video to assess claims that Maman's statement to the EFCC was coerced, while the prosecution maintained it was obtained lawfully and voluntarily. The Tanzanian government has expressed interest in establishing direct Air Tanzania flights to Nigeria to boost trade, tourism and bilateral ties. Nigeria's Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, welcomed the proposal, aligning it with President Tinubu's Renewed Hope initiative and promising collaboration to ensure a smooth regulatory process. Gabon's junta leader, Brice Oligui Nguema, won a commanding victory in the presidential election, securing a 7-year mandate after ousting President Ali Bongo in the 2023 coup. Nguema, a relative of Bongo, now faces the challenge of diversifying the oil-dependent economy and tackling corruption, pledging a clean break from decades of Bongo family rule. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has appointed former Deputy Finance Minister Nsebisi Jonas as special envoy to the United States to mend strained relations under President Donald Trump. Jonas, also chairman of MTN, will lead diplomatic and trade talks aiming to restore ties impacted by U.S. disapproval over South Africa's land reform policies and its genocide case against Israel.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm sure the headlines were very, very interesting to you, the way they were to me. I have two very important ones to me that I'd like to just talk about. First of all is the killings that in Plateau that the president has said a political will is required. And I'm just wondering who will bring the political will when the president is the know-all, the be-all. The omniscience of politics in Nigeria is the president of the Republic of Nigeria. So what are you talking about political will?
Let's also keep in mind that the president who was the opposition party back then for Jonathan, said the bulk of security stops at the desk of the president. Now, first of all, the president is not even in the country. He's, I don't know, maybe resting or retreating in France. So I've still not seen that human or humane show that someone actually goes there from the presidency to see these people, to commiserate with them, and then to find a solution to this. Everything we have been hearing is from someone sitting behind a desk in a mansion somewhere. They are not doing this on the ground. They are not going there to see how can a community bury 150 human beings. Communities are burying people. I saw the video of the burial and the crying of, I was looking at these not human beings. I mean, where is our humanity as leaders in this country? Where is the humanity of the president, of the governors?
I mean, how would you even call the governors into this? Because everything security is federal. If there's a breakdown of law and order, it's federal.
Is the government not supposed to ask?
Even when it happened that they're saying security issues caused the emergency rule in Rivers State, it was the failure of the federal government.
You just literally just pulled the words out of my mouth. I mean, it's situations like this that warrant a declaration of state of emergency.
Yes.
Or we've not seen that so far. I mean, I think before we came on set, I saw that the president has declared attack, like a massive attack.
Yes.
So that's an update, but how it will be implemented is what I'm really looking forward to. Every day you go to the internet, you see these bandits, you see them flaunting the cash that they receive.
Is that the first time you've heard this ordering
Actually,
of attack?
no.
That's the thing.
Because the same president has a minister of information that is saying that Zulum, for instance, in Borno State, is not. It doesn't know what he's saying. Nope. That security is not the way he's trying to describe it, and that Boko Haram is standing on their last leg. That's what he said.
Yes.
So obviously,
I'm wondering which of is it Boko Haram's legs or the community's legs?
I wonder.
Because I asked that when I saw that headline, I was like, Boko Haram are standing on their last leg. Who is the dia? That dia, who does it? Is it connoting the people in the communities?
So
Boko Haram?
You remember after their leader Shekau died, it became faceless. They tried to have a leader within themselves, but it was not successful. I think they had some issues, and they now divided into splinters. So it's these splinters with, you can't even point to the fact that there is one leader of the Boko Haram. So it makes it difficult for you to, not like Nigeria won't have the facts. Obviously, we have the intelligence, maybe not strong enough, but the intelligence is there.
Thanks for staying with us. It's time now to move to our main topic, which is Trump's tariff and what it means for Africa or to Africa. And we have a guest in the house, a financial expert in the person of Mr. Muktar Mohammed. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, a basic question that I've been asking myself and the people have been asking themselves, especially Nigerians and other African countries, is that these tariffs have come at this time. Are we prepared for it at all?
Nobody's prepared for tariff. Nobody wants tariff. Tariff is like a war, and nobody wants a war, and it's more or less like a trade war, and a trade war with a lot of consequences, and that's what tariff is all about. So definitely nobody really wants tariff. But is Africa prepared for tariff? Do we really do much bulk of business? What we should be asking is, the bulk of business from Africa, would they be affected by tariff?
Because sometimes, like they say, in every disappointment, there's a blessing. Can we tap from this blessing that has come from Trump imposing tariffs on every body?
But Africa too, we also had that tariff imposed tariff on some African countries too. Nigeria is one, even if he suspended it 14%. South Africa has had that ongoing war with them up to now. That war has not changed. He has suspended relationship with South Africa because of the land issue. So that's also the two largest economy in Africa, Nigeria and South Africa. And already you have challenges with them. Definitely you have a spillover effect. Is Africa really prepared? If you look at Nigeria as what do we export to the United States is not affected by Trump tariff. We export oil and gas. And Trump has removed tariff from oil and gas. Now, the thing that we have tariff on our agricultural product, but how much of this agricultural product do we really export, and how much in terms of value, exchange rate, does this agricultural product brings to us? We need to ask ourselves. So, when you look at the tariff that was not imposed on oil and gas, you can see statistically, you can see there was a tariff. Because what happens is that the price of crude has come down drastically. From when he took power, it was $78. After when he was trying to impose tariff, even up to this point, it's about $60. So definitely you have seen a reduction of over $15. That is a major tariff itself. So that is how Africans are going to be affected, especially Nigeria. But Africa as a bloc, you ask ourselves, do the Trump put tariff on our raw material? I don't think so. The tariff were actually put on finished products. And what they export from Africa is raw material, convert to finished product.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken right now, you're saying that Africa would majorly not be affected by Trump's tariff, in the sense that what they export to America is raw materials, more or less.
Yes.
So this tariff doesn't necessarily affect...
No, it will not really affect Africa, but it will in this way. Like I give you an example of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Oil price has come down, so it will affect us. But in terms of the tariff itself, when you look at trade volume, surplus of trade, America can do more. I mean, they export more of their goods to us than we exporting our goods to them. So if you look at no African country have imposed any tariff on the United States of America or anything. What African countries are just waiting for is that how much volume of business do we do with them, with America? They mostly bring their products here. So the advantageous things would have been if Africa was imposing tariff on their product. And when you impose tariff on an American product, it makes it more expensive for your African users. So that will make it if you are dealing with the ordinary African. So Africans just have to sit on the fence. Now, why are they imposing tariff? In case of Nigeria, it's not because Trump will really want to impose tariff on Nigeria. It's because we did not give room for competitive trading with them. And what's that competitive trading? Is that there are some products that we feel we are manufacturing here in Nigeria. If we allow the Americans to bring in their own, it will kill those products. Most Nigerians will go, of course, for the American product. To let those products grow, we said, no, you cannot bring this product, you cannot bring this product, you cannot bring this product. That is why he's imposing tariff on Nigeria. It's not because of what is happening between him and China. That's a different ballgame.
Well, this tariffs that Nigeria, or this goods that Nigeria is saying that should not come to Nigeria, for instance, it was not today.
No.
From like 2018, I think.
Yeah.
That was. So why is he now punishing us for a policy that came since 2018? What's the urgency now?
Trump will always say that he's trying to protect his localized economy. Remember, his motto is American first. So he's looking at the American economy. He said any economy that is not, will I use the word biological term, symbiotic, which is more, we benefit together. Any economy that is parasitic, he will not be part of it. If American allow your product to come in, you must allow American product come in. Reciprocal charges. Remember, he was the one at the point that said Nigeria was charging American to come to Nigeria higher in terms of visa fee. And he also decided to make Nigeria going to America to pay higher visa fee. Until we now came in China, was paying the same visa fee, then he withdrew it. So it's always saying, look, I'm trying to protect the local economy. Now, if that's the bane of his fight with most of the countries, and then he's trying to bring in more companies to bring labor into America. Now, how can Africa benefit from it in the real sense? We would have benefit because, again, we have the population that China have, but we don't have the infrastructure that China's have. That infrastructure is key because you can call a call center in America today, you can call an Apple call center in America. It's picked in China because of the cheap labor. And they will talk like an American. They will be trained to talk like if you're talking to an American. So, but you can't do that here. We don't have the infrastructure. The only country that in Africa that can say, oh, let's see how that works, South Africa. And even with that now, their company power shortage also of recently. Maybe Rwanda. But you look at the population. So they don't have those kind. So the only way Africa would have benefited because of our population and cheap labor would have been infrastructure.
I picked up something from what you mentioned. You said Trump wants to make his countries protecting his country. Fine. Now we have Africa that we know are very good at selling out, to use the word, their country. They don't care about, the leaders barely care about their people. So now, looking at this tariff, what are the long and short-term effect it's going to have? Because I feel that maybe some of these leaders, they are really willing to sell out. No one is ready to protect their business. Look at Nigeria, we're not even producing as much as we think. I was surprised you were saying we have produce that we're producing, we don't want. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, thinking which of the products are we producing here that Americans don't have their own parts in Nigeria. So is there a long and short-term effect of this tariff on the African continent?
Ordinarily, any opportunity for crisis will help you grow your economy. Wow. Where you are locked up, you need to think inwardly. You know, COVID brought a lot of us to become creative these days, and the exchange rate has made a lot of Nigerians to patronize made in Nigeria, especially made in Nigerian fabrics, compared to before that you travel and you want to buy those expensive things. So it could be to our advantage. But the long-term effect is the world itself is a global village. So you need to trade, especially as African. We have enough raw material. So if they say they are not trading with us now, we cannot even be able to look at our raw material and say, this is what is happening. Can we make money? We have to make, we can't sell our raw materials within ourselves. The challenge is that Africa is not doing most trade within themselves, and it's a huge challenge. The volume of trade between African and Africa is very low. That is the major challenge for me. If African trade with African is not that challenging, it's huge in terms of product, in terms of volume. We won't be thinking of the America because Africa will have the market. But if you look at Africa today, the trade between African and Africans is very low. So you cannot enjoy that. That's why the African Continental Trade Agreement have not been able to see the light of the day. The European can tell the Americans, okay, you know what? Go your own side, we go with our own side. The trade volume between the Europeans and the EU nations and then in collaboration with other countries is larger than the total trade from America. In short, for EU, if EU slam the tariff on America, America tend to lose more than the EU nations because most of those most of the farm base of Donald Trump, the farmers, those people that said, oh, they voted for him because of his saying will help. Most of their products are exported to the EU, like agricultural product itself. If you look at it, then you look at the car manufacturers. Most of them have their plants in Mexico. Most of them have their plant in Canada. Because of why? The cheap labor. Labor in America is very expensive. So, but when you look at Africa as a whole, how much trade are we doing within ourselves to say, okay, you know what? If America doesn't want our product, we will trade. Our major trade partner again will go back to the people that America is fighting, China.
So basically, we are on the disadvantage right now.
We are supposed to be the beautiful bride in the sense that we have the numbers, but we don't have the infrastructure.
So now, taking opportunity from this, like you said, crisis gives you the opportunity to grow your economy. What are the basic hanging fruits for infrastructure development that can help us tap into this opportunity that this has presented us?
PPP, public-private partnership, tax to grow your economy, not necessarily government. So what it means is that, okay, I'll give you an example. I wish they will come. Apple, so we want to establish a plant here in Nigeria. We want to have our major plant in Nigeria because we realize that it will be cheaper to do business from Nigeria. But Apple knows Nigerian challenge and said, you know what? We are going to invest in power. We are going to build those infrastructure so that our business can stand. But in doing that, you have to give us a tax holiday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So those are places where we can benefit as a continent. Because of our cheap labor, they are now coming in to invest in our infrastructure because they have businesses here. And that will be foreign direct investment. That will be huge. That is where we stand to benefit.
But it seems like there are some factors that are militating against that. For instance, security.
Yeah, insecurity is majorly.
The inconsistency of the naira to dollar and all other things.
It's not just Nigeria alone. We are looking at the broader picture. You look at Africa itself. Insecurity is even within the African Sahel regions where these goods can come in. So we have a lot of challenges there also. So definitely insecurity is one of those huge parts. But again, if American government says, okay, you know what, we know the challenge of security. We empower, we train, we equip your, those are the type of relationship that Africa will benefit from. If American companies choose Africa as a beautiful bride rather than go to China, it will cost them more in the short term, but in the long term, it will help them grow their bottom line because of the cheap labor. And it's going to be a win-win situation.
Okay, I feel like as much as, the world is focused on Donald Trump's tariffs around the world, Americans recently went on a protest within the countries in different key cities of America, kicking against several policies of Trump, which they call anti-America. Do you think that this tariff regime of Donald Trump is something that is sustainable? Or perhaps do you see him caving into the different criticism, both internal and external criticism?
Look, the first thing you ask yourself, is tariff a means to grow an economy? No. Two major factors in economic trade and investment and economy that does not help the economy. Tariff, in terms of tariff, like war tariff now, because it's a trade war tariff.
It is.
And levies. These don't have a long-term effect on the economy. What have a long-term effect on the economy is investment and tax. So definitely it will come to a point, he has to look at what he's doing. How much has that helped the American economy? How much has that helped household in America? How much have that helped the smaller companies in America or the bigger companies in America? If, as we stand today, if you look at all what I've just said, it's not helping the American economy. Whether in terms of tariff or in terms of levies, it will not help. So is it not building the tax bracket? That is what he wants to do. He wants more companies to come in, provide more jobs for Americans, and in turn, America will earn more from taxes. But unfortunately, that is not the way to do it. There must be an incentive for me to want to come and invest. Why are American companies not investing in America? It's because of labor. It's not because of infrastructure. Where labor in America will cost them 100%, it's costing them less than 20% outside the shore of America. Add with transportation. And most of them are in there most of them are not there for charity, but they're there for businesses. To make profit, to give value to their shareholders. So that is the major challenge. In as much as you say, come to America, manufacture. America is not a manufacturing driven economy. America is normally type of services. And if you look at it, if you look at America and China, what is the greatest product in terms of service area that America release Chinese service in America? You realize it's the tech space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about that tech space, you are talking about smartphones, computers. And so when Trump see the effect,
they're even not so much on cars.
Yes, so much. Trump saw the effect on that. Remember, he came in immediately and said, you know what? No tariff on smartphones and computers. And once he did that, 90% of volume of trade between China and America is from that space. So it's not America that are losing. It's not the Chinese that are losing, because what it means is that the volume of trade between we, American and China, is largely driven by smartphones, technology, computer, and that area is free from tariff. So nothing to lose. That's why when America put a tariff on China would impose their own back to them. And as it stands now,
it's just back and forth.
It's back and forth.
Let's just come back home and wrap it up. You've said that the way to grow our economy, using this as an opportunity, is PPP. But by way of emphasis, what are some of the lessons that African leaders should learn from this?
I mean, not over-dependence on foreigners to grow the economy. That's what we should learn, because most of African products are not finished products. They are determined by volatility in external forces, trading. So what we need to begin to do as Africa is to see how we can make our goods into finished goods and then send to this country. But what we see is that we give them our raw material and they make it into finished goods. I will buy times 2 of what I'm so. That should be the lesson.
I like that you said we give them our raw material, because I don't think they buy the raw material.
The rate is actually the difference.
That is neither here nor there. They also, it's like when you're in the business, when you get a good deal, you normally will go there to take it.
We do hope that Nigeria, not only Nigeria, Africa will come out strong. Africa will come out learning lessons from this. We're not just going to sit back and fold our arms, because something worse than the tariffs that we're seeing now could come up tomorrow. How prepared are we? That's why the first question was, are we prepared in Africa to cushion this and then take the opportunity and grow even more than we are right now? But we've made some sense out of all this. We didn't understand this really much. We'd like to thank you, Mr. Muktar Mohammed, for coming on the show today to enlighten us so much about this tariff and what Africa stands to lose or gain.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Well, we'll take a short break and look at the weather. When we return from the weather, we're going straight up north. Last week we were doing something in Egypt. Now it's Morocco. Have you ever been to Marrakech? Stay tuned. You'll find out why you need to go there next.
At the foot of the Atlas Mountains, where the desert whispers meet the mountain winds, lies a city like no other. Marrakech, a city drenched in color, history and soul. A place where the ancient and the modern dance together in the rhythm of daily life. As the sun rises, Jama El Thna awakens, snake charmers, storytellers, musicians, echoes of 1,000 stories echoing through the centuries. This is the heart of Marrakech, where chaos becomes choreography and every moment is alive with magic. Step into the labyrinth of the Medina, a tangle of alleyways and dreams. Here, artisans shape brass, weave wool and grind saffron. Trade isn't just commerce, it's heritage passed from hand to hand, generation to generation. The Kutubia Mosque. Marrakech's spiritual compass. Its call to prayer weaves through the air, grounding the city in devotion and timelessness. It watches over the Red City like a guardian, unwavering since the 12th century. Beyond the Medina's rust-red walls lies a garden of blues, a painter's dream. The Mayorel Garden, once the retreat of French artist Jacques Mayorel, later restored by fashion icon Yves Saint Laurent. Here, silence speaks and beauty breathes. In Marrakech, hospitality is not a gesture, it's a philosophy. Mint tea poured high with a flourish is more than a drink, it's a ritual. And tangine, slow cooked in edenware, carries the flavors of home, memory and celebration. But Marrakech is not trapped in time. Beyond its ancient walls lies a contemporary pulse. As dusk falls, the square transforms once more. Drummers beat, fires crackle, the air thickens with the scent of grilled meat and orange blossoms. Marrakech at night is a dream unfolding, a story still being written. This is Marrakech, vibrant, layered, eternal, a city of contrast and harmonies, where every stone tells a story and every soul adds to the symphony. Marrakech is not just a place you visit, it's a place that stays with you.
It gives me so much joy each time I see clips from African countries where things are so beautiful. A place that so many people outside think we're still in the jungle or something.
Yeah, no, you know, I saw a video where they were asking a question and the Americans were like, Africa, is it a place? Is a place?
Really?
People live there. I'm telling you.
So we are here
Like
studying.
it was a Vox poll.
We're here
And they were seriously saying,
studying Mungo Park that discovered Africa.
so at the end of that video,
That was always there.
at the end of that video, the person now puts what Americans think Africa is, and then put like bushes, the
houses.
Amazon, mud houses, and then now says what Africa really is. And one of all these beautiful videos were added. I'm like, why did this?
And that's why you were threatening me. I'll take you to Marrakech.
Yes,
That's a threat.
I'm beginning to see. No, I've changed my mind. I've changed. I'm not going to Egypt now. Let's go to Marrakech.
Okay.
I see what
Yeah.
you're doing.
So I know what we are going to play next week, so that if
And
I
it's a
have-
no. Marrakech is a yes. Whatever we're playing next week is a no.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we'll wrap it up on the show. We'd like to thank you for your time today. We're hoping that you'll join us again next time for another wonderful show. And from my colleagues this morning,
Well, it's been a beautiful show. I enjoyed myself totally, I have to say. And I want to say, keep it. I'll just make it a date with us until next time. I'm signing out. Bye.
I am still beefing them. because they are trying to not take me to Marrakech, and it's not going to happen.
Don't
But
worry.
it was fun being on the show today and learning new things, finding out that yes, I can now write a wish list of places to visit on their tabs.
I'm very sure that if I check Lagos State very well, I'll have a place that they call Marrakech. After all, we have London in Lagos, or Sapma
Avoid me,
London.
please.
So we can have Marrakech that will accommodate you. But
Nah.
that's the way we're wrapping up today. My name is Nyamgul Agaji. Join us another time and it will still be fun. Bye for now.